Since the late 1920s, the Oscars have built their name as the most prestigious award not just in Hollywood, but arguably the entire film industry. Sometimes, however, wins are given to performances that aren't perceived to be particularly deserving. Rather, the general perception is that these awards are given to an actor more for their legacy. Known as a legacy Oscar or a career Oscar, these victories are given to actors who come across as being long overdue for Academy Gold. Even if the performances are absolutely phenomenal, the win itself may feel a little bittersweet. The late Paul Newman was not only one of the best actors of his generation, but one of the most iconic stars Hollywood has ever produced. 28 years after his first Oscar nod, with 7 losses under his belt, Newman finally got the Academy's praise for his work on Martin Scorsese's The Color of Money. Newman had reportedly grown so disillusioned with losing so often that he didn't even show up to the ceremony. It's hard to blame him, since many feel he deserved an Academy Award for plenty of performances before The Color of Money, where his work, while great, is very far from Oscar-worthy. Shakespeare in Love is generally regarded as the weakest Best Picture winner of the 90s, and Judi Dench's win for Best Supporting Actress feels just as underwhelming. Dench had only been nominated once before, for a highly acclaimed performance in 1997's Mrs. Brown. Her win in 1999 felt like a makeup award for her loss the year before, especially considering that, with only a little under 6 minutes of screen time, her performance barely gets any chance to truly shine as an Oscar-worthy piece of work. King Richard is a sports biopic focused on Richard Williams and how his unconventional coaching helped his daughters Venus and Serena become 2 of the greatest tennis superstars of all time. King Richard is one of the best sports movies of the last few years, anchored by a performance by Will Smith that's full of charm, emotion, and complexity. However, it's hard to deny that the narrative that surrounded him that award season, paired with the Chris Rock slap scandal, permanently stained the legacy that made him win his first Academy Award. No one would deny that Meryl Streep is one of the best actresses of all time. At a tremendous 21 nods, Streep is far and away the actor with the largest number of Oscar nominations. She's also one of the only few actresses with 3 Oscar wins, with the third coming for The Iron Lady, a controversial biopic about an elderly Margaret Thatcher coming to terms with scenes from her past. The Iron Lady is not a particularly good film, and Streep's performance is surprisingly not particularly great. While her impersonation of Thatcher is impressively convincing, it's too superficial to merit an Oscar, sometimes bordering on caricature. As the most recent legacy Oscar win, Jamie Lee Curtis's victory for her limited supporting turn in Everything Everywhere All at Once still stings for some. Curtis's performance as a grumpy IRS inspector is admittedly great, but it most certainly wasn't the best supporting female performance of 2022, or even its own movie. Though Curtis had never been nominated for an Oscar before, her win still felt like a prize for her acclaimed career rather than her performance.